Hey mamas, welcome to day 3 of the Fall 2024 Postpartum Fitness Challenge. We're working glutes and core today with or without a resistance band, and we're going to be working for 50 seconds on, 10 seconds rest for 10 minutes. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to come to our back. If you've got the resistance band, go ahead and place it on your legs about a fist distance above the knee. Lay on your back and bring your feet close to your butt. We're going to drive the hips up for a glute bridge and then drive the knees out and in, keeping those hips up, out and in. So we're gonna sit here for 50 seconds, heels down, toes can lift up a bit here as you drive the knees open, and you're pushing out against that band while simultaneously squeezing your butt to keep the hips elevated. So we want those glutes engaged, and this is gonna get into those adductor muscles, the side of the glutes, and we're pushing out against that band. And as the knees come in, you want to make sure they're not collapsing in toward each other. There's still tension right here as you come back together. So when you're coming back in, you can bring them about hip distance apart and then pushing out again as much as you can. Depending on the resistance of your band, you may be able to push out further. I'm going light to moderate today on that band, but you can do whatever works for you. All right, we're gonna stay on our backs. Next, we're gonna move to a glute bridge pulse. So we're gonna lift the hips up, stay up in that bridge, keeping the knees about hip width apart. Draw and brace the core, engage pelvic floor, and pulse. So we want to make sure we draw the belly button in and up toward the spine. Pelvic floor is engaged, glutes are engaged, so we're really benefiting those deep core muscles here. And if you're not really sure what I'm talking about when I say those things, I'm referring back to some things we've established in my postpartum ab program. So check that out. If you're really starting to heal your core or you're newly postpartum, I would begin there first before doing a workout like this, because I'm going to be using a lot of terminology that I'm going to assume you already understand and know how to do. But in general, we want to engage that core, keep it tight throughout the movements, and then keep the hips up. We're just moving a little bit, about an inch up and down here. And if you need to, you can rest at any moment. You can also take the band off. You do not have to use the band. All right, we're gonna be moving now onto the side of the body. So arm under shoulder at 90 degrees, hips, heels in a line with that elbow. We're gonna open and close, lifting the hips. And then we're gonna drop the hip back down. So this is called a clam lift. So we're opening and closing the knees, keeping those heels glued together. Exhale as you open. You're getting that same movement, the abduction here, just like we did in the glute bridge, but now we're on the side of the body. So we're going to get a little more obliques and target more of the underside of that waistline right here. So press out of this forearm. Exhale as you lift. And make sure you're not collapsing into this shoulder. You want to keep that shoulder pulled down away from your ear. Alternatively, if you want to make it harder, you can stay up in the movement, or to make it easier, hips down, open and close. And you can also take the band off to make it easier. A couple more seconds here. I'm going to stay up for the last few. Nice job. Okay, we're going to stay on this same side, working that same leg that was on the bottom. So now we're going to do what's called an X over. So what we're going to do is take the leg, cross it behind, and cross it to the front. So we're taking the leg up and over to each side. Hands are under the shoulders. That opposite knee is under your hip. Toes can be pointed or flexed, whatever you feel like. Toes pointed is a little prettier, but doesn't really matter. And you're trying to draw an X with that toe. So up and over. And as you're going up and over, you don't want to kick too high here. That's not necessarily the goal. About hip level is good. And maintaining hips square to the floor and hands under shoulders is really good for alignment. It can help you stay strong and stable and properly engage the core. This is great for the glutes, the core, those deep core muscles and pelvic floor. Good work. Okay, we're gonna keep working that same side, taking that same leg that was just moving. We're gonna kick it up for a scorpion pulse. So flex the foot here, knee at hip level, and then push the heel toward the ceiling. So here we're staying in that top range of the movement. 1 inch up and down. This one's gonna feel more intense, maybe for the glute or the low back, especially because we've been going on that same side for 2 minutes now. So if you need to, take the band out, or you can also one pulse and then drop the knee rest. But this one is gonna light up that back body. So a little bit of strain in that low back is not a problem. You just want to make sure it's not painful. Same thing with this leg. You want to make sure you're going to feel it in your hamstring. Make sure that calf is pulling toward your hamstring and you're pushing upward. So you keep that tension in the hamstring. Again, it is going to burn. That's not problematic. Just make sure you're staying in control, strong arms, strong core. All right, now we're gonna repeat everything from the beginning and then we'll get the other side. So back to the banded glute bridge with the abduction. Deep core brace, exhale, open and close. Heels down, exhale as you push the knees out. Now, if you can really use your breath to help assist you, that's gonna not only send that energy to the muscles, that's gonna help you fire your core with the muscles. So you're working everything properly in tandem to get stronger and using your breath to really focus on that pelvic floor. Because a lot of people don't realize the diaphragm is a huge part of pelvic floor health. So if you can learn to breathe properly during everyday life, but especially when you're doing exercise, that's gonna help assist and healing your deep core, getting it stronger for everyday life. So exhaling on that hard part of the movement when we're pushing out. I'm doing pursed lip exhalations, short, sharp through, like I'm breathing out through a straw. Okay, we're gonna stay in that glute bridge this time, pulsing for 50 seconds. And you can take more deep belly breaths here when you're resting, but when you're in the exercise, we're doing just those short, sharp exhales here. Some exercises are different, but here, since we're doing little pulses, it's quick. So just quick inhale and exhale through the pursed lips. And I'm not doing it perfectly every time, obviously, because I'm trying to coach and talk through it, but you get the point. If you're doing this on your own, try to use that breath work to your advantage. Bigger doesn't mean better with the pulse. Stay up high and then you're gonna get more out of it than if you're dropping lower and going bigger with the movement. Couple more seconds here. Nice. Okay, now we're swiveling around to the other side for that clam lift. So you can take whatever option you want to. I'll start with kind of the moderate option. Make sure your elbow, hip, and heels are in a line. We lift, open, close, and lower down slowly with control. Exhale as you open and close the knee. And I'm taking a little bit of a longer inhale here and saving that exhale for the open and close. So you'll see some of the exercises are a bit different, but you can usually know how to time the breathing. If you think about what's the hardest part of the exercise that you're doing, this one has a couple parts, but typically it's when you're exerting the most force. That's when you want to exhale to fire that deep core and pelvic floor. You can stay down for the last few if you're fatiguing, or bring it up. Nice. And you see I changed my breath when I was doing that last section. Okay, back to the X overs this time. Opposite leg is going to go up and over, hands under shoulders, knees under hips. Extend the leg, take it to the back corner and the front corner. Really important to keep the hips square to the floor. Of course, you're going to rotate the hips a bit as you move the leg, but you don't want to be twisting so much that you're like rotating or having to reposition your arms. Just like that as I'm kicking up. That's when I exhale. Now you can go a little further to the side if you've got the flexibility, or if you don't have the band, it's going to be a little easier here to take the leg further out to the side. And that's going to get deeper into the side glutes. If you'd like to do that, that is perfectly fine. Or you can stay a little closer in between those hands, and that's going to be a little less intense. Okay, scorpion pulse. So reset that position, re-engage that core, flex the foot, and we're going to drive the heel up close to that calf, close to that hamstring. Exhaling every time you push up. Ooh, this one's tough for the full 50 seconds, but again, you can do one kick and bring it down. Or you can stay up high and just move slower or without the band. Lots of options here. Couple more seconds left and we're almost done. Nice. Okay. That was it. The 10-minute core and glutes. Day 3 of our fitness challenge. Let me know what you guys think so far, what you're enjoying, what you think is coming next. We've got a few more weeks, days to go, so I hope you're in with us for the rest of the challenge. If you've got questions, comments, anything you want to tell me, feel free to respond in the comments. I always try to answer my comments as well as emails if you email me on the website. That being said, if you want to check out my website, I've got YouTube guides to take you through my programs, in addition to a nutrition guide that is pretty newly developed with all the things that I use in my day-to-day life to have a strong body to support my workouts. So thank you guys as always for being here. I'll see you tomorrow for day 4.